my God. Okay. Welcome to Behind the Scenes. What's going on? Stormy Calder here. We're doing a BTS episode because I don't know if I've been more excited in weeks. We're going to talk about merch because I'm stoked, like beyond right now, to the point where I had to share because why not? Okay, here's what's going on. For those of you that don't know me, what's up? This is Stormy Calder here. I'm doing a little behind the scenes rant. I am a life coach, a shaman, a branding coach, a creative, a multi-talented entrepreneur. That is what I am. And for the peanut gallery, because there's a funny thing about authenticity. When you show up authentically, and when you are so authentically creative as I am, I show up in my inner child a lot. My inner child is very present. She's not going anywhere. She's here on this stream today. People think that when your inner child freak flag is flying, that either you're stupid, naive, or that you're not a boss. And let me tell you, I'm everything. I am a boss. I am a teacher. I am a personal development consciousness expert. I do not use that term lightly. I am a consciousness expert. I am a creative director and a marketing director, all in one human, with significant experience in each of these areas. I've got over 15 years in each area. And God, when I'm feeling so vibey, like I designed a hoodie for you guys based off of the Money Recoded launch. I wanted a hoodie that said Money Honey because so many of you loved it, and I loved it when my guides streamed it through as a code, and I've been working with it as a code. You can meditate with it. Anyway, also I've got such freaking vibey creative pants on right now. We need to I might need to show them off. They're really fun. Okay, so I wanted it on a hoodie. For you guys to know, I'm going to take you through a little behind the scenes of how I create. I just sometimes, and by sometimes I mean a lot of times, I see design as a luxury for myself. I see art as a luxury because when I was younger, I had to put aside doing a lot of art, things that I liked making for myself, in order to figure out how to make money. Which is ironic because I made a lot of money as an illustrator. I made a lot of money as a painter. I made a lot of money, a lot being relative, right? For like a 20-year-old, I mean, I don't know, you only need to make like 30 grand. But it's like, I did all right for myself. I did all the things I needed to do with skills that people told me that I was not going to be able to make money with. Which is also ironic because my parents are professional artists. So it's even more like, so many people told me I was never going to make money with art, and I made money with art, and it was all stacked in my favor, actually. Anyway, so aside from that, there's a part of myself that had a soul fragmentation where I see art as a luxury. But it's funny when it does weave its way into business. So I spent a couple of hours yesterday slinging together a hoodie design for you. I will have my own hoodie. I just ordered it for myself in a week or two, and I will be wearing it on streams. I'm very excited. But I'm more stoked because YouTube approved my merch shop, and I literally was squealing. I'm so excited. Will you please look at this with me? Look, there are crop titties in there too. Okay, so right now it's all the Money Honey design. But I will have more as we're going. I'm going to do one around do no harm, take no shit. Essentially, I'm going to be taking spiritual phrases that are streaming through from my guidance that we talk about and share about. Break the mold is another one. And I'm going to put them on clothing because it's fun. Okay, what was I going to do? I was going to go into I was going to show you a little bit about how I design. But hold on, I need to find the file. Da-da-da, da-da-da-da-da. I'm so excited. Thank you for joining me. been doing graphic design since I was 10. When I was 10 or 11, I won't say that many positive things about my parents, but my father did teach me how to do vector art because he is a graphic designer. So I have been designing merch since I was 10 or 9, something like that. T-shirts, hoodies, patches, sweatshirts, stickers. I designed logos for all of my friends that were musicians, and they were the only ones that needed things. And I'm like, did the artists? I'm like, no, they did their own stuff. I did so many t-shirts and so many posters and promotional art. Anyway, this is just me sharing a little behind the scenes because I wanted to riff on it because of how excited I am about producing merch. Because it's not like, how do I explain this to you guys? It's just a way to connect with me. It's not like I went onto Fiverr or I called a friend and said, hey, can you design this? And then it's like a product. It's like, it's a part of my heart. It's a part of me. It's something I get to share with you guys. I get to show the process, you know, and even it's just a part of myself that I forget to share, that is so buried in my skill sets of like awesomeness. That I've got so much experience around illustration, around design, around typography. It's like, it's a total favorite art of mine. Oh, spilling seltzer on my tablet. Okay, so here's what I did. I downloaded a couple typefaces that I loved off of a software company. And then I started manipulating with them and working with them. Now, if I had more time than just a couple of hours yesterday, I would have actually pulled out my drawing pads and I would have handwritten the entire font. And I would have handwritten the entire design. Because I'm working on short time, because I just need to get things out and produced as quickly as possible with anything that I do, I worked with a typeface, an existing typeface. And then I was struggling with my mouse. I don't know why I've been doing this for so long. But I can draw on the computer with a mouse, which is insane. It's insane. It's not worth trying to do. But I've been doing it for a while because I make do with whatever I have in the moment. It might be somewhat of an ADHD thing where I'm just like, I don't know, just whatever, get it done. And if I've got a mouse and I don't have what I actually need, I'll just use a mouse. Anyway, I caved last week because it occurred to me. I was like, wait, why don't I get one of those tablets? Because I used to have one years ago and it like triggered this whole emotional system response out of my inner child. Because I remember buying my first Wacom tablet, which like this is an updated one, but I remember buying one when I was 19 and it was a really big deal and they were very expensive back in the day. Especially for a 19-year-old. So anyway, but they make designing so much easier. So I open up Illustrator, I work with vector art, I work with the type, and I draw. I drew the entire thing with my brushes in Illustrator and they're ready for screen printing based on how I create my art, and I distress them all on the computer personally, and I've got all these different software programs and stuff that make that really fun. Okay, so let me pull up the design just because that's cool. Where did I put it now? That was the question. I think I made a merch folder. I did. Okay. And I played with the design in a number of ways too. What you guys won't know about me, the sort of design work that I do, that I've done of a metric F ton in the past is I worked a lot with startups. I worked a lot with entrepreneurs, and I worked a lot with pitch decks and studios. So what all of that means is you have to get creative ideas out into vision and mocked up as quickly as possible and out in front of stakeholders. Most of my design work has been done with C-suite executives, senior representative, like SVPs, and myself working with entrepreneurs. What does that mean? You gotta design really fast. You have to get it mocked up, meaning it has to be like CEOs, CMOs, etc. need to be able to visualize literally what something is going to look like or might look like in order for them to sign off on things and actually send money where it needs to be sent across companies, entrepreneurs, and startups for VC funding, etc. The way that that's done is people like me that are highly adept in multiple areas haul ass to get something out as quickly as possible to I call myself a recovering perfectionist. I had a conversation with somebody on this yesterday, and you know, and a lot of designers will fall into the perfectionist category, and artists. Thanks, love. I'm excited because you're excited. Thank you. We're here for it, right? It's just like sharing excitement. It's a good vibe too. Okay, so where was I going? With design, it's like you have to be able to get ideas out to, oh, on the perfectionist idea. You have to be able to get ideas out and hit publish when you think they're not done. So I have spent my entire career figuring out how to do Pareto's law, the 80-20 rule. 20% of the work gets you 80% of the results. And I would pare things down and pare things down and pare things down. My abilities, my understanding, what's the bare minimum any situation needs. I'm frequently running with the bare minimum and producing quickly. I move into output generally within a week on anything that I do. Some projects sit a little bit longer because I'm juggling other projects. If I can get it out immediately, I will, because it's easier for me. We might go into this in detail at another time where I talk about ADHD and how I use it as a superpower, because I don't have project trackers, etc. It's actually just easier for me to plan everything in my head and run. That's not the case with everybody, but it is the case with me. And what I would say is get to know yourself. If you can know yourself in and out completely and know what works for you, what doesn't, and how to get the most productivity out of yourself, then you are at a severe advantage in market and with any level of competition. Okay, so this is my design. I pumped it out yesterday. It says money, honey. And I'm just so stoked. I drew all of this out with the Y. It's so good. I'm so excited. And then I just stressed everything. That stuff used to piss off, like, people back in the day that I would design for. You know, when you're trendy, you distress everything. But, like, when you're old school, they're like, why are you distressing the artwork? Like, you know, they're like, what are you doing? And you're like, it needs to look grunge, man. Like, it's gotta look cool, otherwise people aren't gonna wear it. So it needs to be distressed. So I went through and distressed it all. It's so fun. Okay, so we're going back to the tablet. I got the tablet, I drew it all out, my inner child was thrilled. It feels like a total luxury. So maybe for some people, feeling like a luxury is eating a $150 dinner or steak. For me, the total luxury was having 2 to 3 hours of time to sit down and actually draw some merch. I don't like doing art generally for the sake of doing art. I know a lot of people do that. I don't have any ill against it. I just don't personally like it. I really like producing things that I can see and that can be exchanged for money. I like things. Like, I like it being produced. So the money honey going on a hoodie and the fact that I ordered the hoodie today and I had a 24-hour turnaround time is like so vibey for me. The stickers that I've produced in the past, like, I sling that stuff out within a couple of days and I love it. I love it. It's like the 20-year-old version of myself. It was like, I'm like living her dream right now. You know, she did want to design some Burton snowboards, and I did enter some contests. I do have some snowboard designs that I illustrated with zombies on them that were incredible, that never got published. That is also a dream of that 20-year-old. So if anyone knows anyone at Burton that wants a moonshine snowboard design with really cute, fun, vibey zombies guzzling moonshine, I illustrated it like when I was 23. They're beautiful. I would sign off on it today. Anyway, oh my gosh. Okay. What else do I want to say? The link is in the description below for the hoodies. And there's a main hoodie, a cropped hoodie, and a cropped t-shirt. I'm just really excited. Is there anything else I want to say about my creative process? Just more than I enjoy design, and then it felt like a luxury, and that I got it out to you guys. That's all. I'll probably make some stickers. This is all a pre-launch for Money Recoded, which is the program about redeveloping and redefining your relationship with money and the energy of money. It is open for enrollment. We're starting at the end of next week. So that link is also in the description below. There's a promo code below as well. And on the hoodies, there's also a promo code below for 30% off as I kickstart here and get moving with my little merch shop. All right. Is there anything else I need to share about my creative process right now? Here's what I'll say for someone like me in case this is helpful for anyone. The reason why I'm so creative is because I keep creating. It's also because I don't allow anyone to interfere with my emotional energy. When you are a creative person, your emotional energy is money. It is the creativity. And if you have any level of drama from humans, emotional drama, nonsense, people pulling on your energy just to pull on it, it depletes your creative well. Literally, it depletes your ability to create. Now, I have dollar signs assigned to my ability to create because I am an entrepreneur. Depending on the category you see me in, you might be like, oh my God, she's so fun. She's got her inner child out. There's no way she's a boss. I'm a boss. I'm just also really okay with being authentic. And I know my audiences, okay? I won't be like this in a boardroom, but I will here. You know, it's just like, you create by creating. You get better with speed by practicing speed. You get better at publishing by publishing. You don't get better at publishing by sitting and waiting for projects to be complete and by giving lots of space for projects to complete. You get better at publishing by publishing. There are many, many strands of thought that I will probably educate throughout my career around creativity, entrepreneurship, and shipping. And by shipping, that is the term that, like, I forget who initially said it, but I definitely remember Seth Godin talking about it, which is someone that I do look up to and have throughout my entire career. I adore that man's work. He is a marketing expert, for those of you that don't know. He's so creative. I've met him so many times, and he's just like, he's such a vibey guy, from upstate New York. Okay, where was I going with that? Let me just circle back for one sec. Oh, because Seth Godin would talk about publishing all the time. So he wrote a blog post every single day for years, and I think he still does them, like every single day. And it's not about, I'm gonna circle this back to YouTubers as well. It's not about any one post being so good or going viral. You know, writers will know this too. Any level of I'd say any level of creators, but writers specifically write every day. And you know that, I think Seth Godin talks about this too. Like, you know that if you have to write every day, and Tim Ferriss talks about this, if you make yourself write every day and you have to do it, there's a point where your brain just decides, I don't want to write like shit. Like, I don't want it to be bad today. And when you have to publish, so like Seth Godin publishes blog posts every single day, your brain goes, I don't want it to be bad, and other people are going to see it. That provides a lot of accountability subconsciously. It's pressure that is created subconsciously that actually makes you produce. When you know how to wield that energy, you produce. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I have very little friction in between me receiving an idea and hitting publish on something. Whether it's my courses, whether it's the meditation albums, I produced each of those within a few days. Whether it's the the monthly workshops. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen the amount of work that goes into these things, but I'm doing all of the work. It's all me by choice because I'm a control freak about my creative process and because I absolutely love the work. So, what's the work? I am designing landing pages. I am writing sales copy. I am actually promoting on videos for you guys frequently, telling you what I have for offers. I am managing my website, which for anyone that knows IT, like I won't say it's a nightmare, but it is not fun, the website portion of it. That's something I'm always trying to figure out. I'm writing emails. I'm sending all of my email marketing. I'm planning new videos. I'm constantly working other programs and courses. I'm designing merch. Like, I'm doing so many different things. Like, each of the programs that I pump out, if you guys notice, like, I'm slinging out logos for each of these programs. I'm doing an entire rebrand on myself, renaming myself. I'm creating the stylist for my own wardrobe. I'm literally creative directing the photographers on how to shoot me. I'm editing my own photos because the photographers can't edit the photos the way that I like. Like, I'm literally like... There were people in my past that would say that this is too much control, and I'm like, you just don't understand my vision. And there was something that I was reflecting on before I jumped on this video that I'm just so proud of myself because I'm doing this. The Money Honey hoodie is like a re-emerging, it's a soul retrieval of a 19 or 20-year-old version of myself. It's coming back into alignment with myself today, and that's what's fun about sharing this. It's like, I feel like by me showing the behind the scenes, I'm showing you what's possible when you just embrace all of who you are and refuse to play by someone else's rules. I have had so many people throughout my freaking, I don't know, my entire career, work history, which is over 20 years at this point, tell me I try to do too much, that the creativity will run out. I can't tell you how many people have told me that my creativity will run out, and I've schooled all of them. I'm like, no, it doesn't run out. You're the problem for your thing. If it's running out for you, it's because you're not harnessing the energy. Creative energy isn't a live energy. If you don't work with it, it dies. It moves to someone like me that will actually produce it because creative energies want to move into product. They want to move into form. They want to be published. Now, where do most people stumble? They think their ideas aren't good enough. They're not willing to hit publish, and they create creative blocks. Creative blocks are nonsense. They're not real. They're figments of the imagination. Don't take that the wrong way. Don't hate me. I'm just a messenger. It took me years to find my way through that because I have to be creative on demand. I ran a marketing agency in my 20s. I have worked with C-suite executives through a good portion of my career, making big moves. Like, I had to be creative on demand. I had to teach myself how to be creative on demand. I did so much research through so many years to find the mental hacks. There are actually so many ways that you can be creative on demand, which is necessary for this world, especially with now competition with AI. I was thinking about this the other day. I was like, man, I am an award-winning logo designer. People would hire me to illustrate their logos. I'm very good at it. I don't really do it anymore. But you know, I was thinking about it yesterday. I was like, oh my gosh, you could probably sling out a logo in 2 seconds with AI. That shit would have driven me nuts in my 20s because I'd be like, what do you mean? Like, that's not my competition, like a human versus AI. Anyway, I was thinking about it. But the point is, when people think about being a creative, there are different aspects of creativity. I noticed, I was reading The Psychic Field today with myself, and I was like, oh, when people see me as being my childlike, innocent nature, they're like, oh, she's creative. They assume a lot of things. And I'm like, I'm a creative director. I ran marketing agencies. Like, I've worked with C-level everything. I've run businesses. I've created startups. I've managed social media for startups. I've managed marketing. Like, it's just like, it's like creative gets dumped into like an artist category. which I think is like hilarious because creative is pretty much anyone that's entrepreneurial that's making money. There's a vast array of what it is to be creative, and it's an incredibly important trait. And something that I remember people saying to me when I was young is like, oh, you're either creative or you're not. And I used to coach people into becoming creative because I was like, it's not true. And now I coach people into being psychic. I'm like, everybody's psychic, everybody's creative. So if you ever thought you weren't creative, it's just nonsense. You are creative. It is a set of skills. Some people are more talented than others naturally. That talent is either nurtured or it's from nature. I have both. My talents were nurtured, and I nurtured them myself heavily because I realized very quickly what I was going to be able to make a career off of when I got out of college. And even that was interesting too. So I went to school for music, kind of by mistake, but I won't go into all of that. And I never saw the music as a career, which was unfortunate because I could have made that a career, but I had so many external voices on how that wasn't going to work. So instead I fell back on my artistic skills, which people could have fought me over, but I just had them in way too much demand. So I was just like, I will design everything. I will be my own marketing agency. I will hire everyone I know. I will produce for small businesses. Like there was so much I did. People were like, we need websites. I was like, I will learn how to build websites. I built my own website. I love website design. I don't know where I'm going with this, other than thanks for joining me here with my rant before I go run for my evening. But creativity is maybe, I don't know. I don't see this coming soon, but I'm like, maybe I'll make a course on creativity at some point because I do know that people think I'm nuts at the degree that I publish. And I'm not really using like much AI and stuff. I know people can hit publish by having AI pre-write everything and pre-design everything and like, no, this is me just being really good at my prioritization, knowing what I'm great at, knowing how to get things to market quickly, to test, to tweak, to come back, and removing any friction, removing blocks, and removing perfectionism. So at this point in my career, I've gotten good at training myself to get the I know how to get the most out of my creative skills in the shortest amount of time. So there's less like needing to explore and experiment and find the way through, and more that I was like, I want a hoodie. I was like, okay. I was like, it's either gonna be fourth wall or spring. And I was like, spring, I can't find my login. I was like, okay, we're going to fourth wall. This is like real entrepreneur behind the scenes right now. And then I was like messing around with my mouse, and I did out the moneyhoney design initially. And I realized, I was like, you know what? I could hit publish right now and that would be fine. And no one would know the difference. But I was like, this would be so much more fun if I could get a tablet so I actually could draw with my vector art on my computer. It would just be more fun for me. And I was like, is that worth it? I was like, it'll take 2 days for it to get here from Amazon. Yeah. So it's just silly. The whole thing is silly. So I ordered the tablet. I do this yesterday. And yesterday I was here's how I like just double and triple my time up. Yesterday I was in an emotional state. Like I was processing a lot of subconscious grieving, which is not a good state for me to get a lot of work done. But it was a good state to do some art, and that art happens to be productive art for me. So I sat there on my little, I was having so much fun jiving to Daft Punk. And like, I just got it done. I hope you shared my excitement, that's all. Okay, is there anything else I want to say about creativity? If you guys want a creativity training from me or want me to talk about creativity on live streams, at some point I will plan it in. I am a pro with hacking creativity, teaching and coaching creativity. And, you know, there's something else that I kind of take for granted from myself at this point now too. But artists typically have their own vision, and then there's market vision. And it took me probably my 20s to figure this out. I spent years trying to figure it out, because when you make art for the sake of making art, it doesn't mean that that art's going to sell. And that's not bad. It's just a different thing. But because I grew up in commercial art, and my parents were business people, and I was a business person and an artist, I needed to figure out how to make things that would sell. So that would sell. It's not that there's pressure, it's that I would try to understand what had more value, what people liked, why and how. And then I would create things naturally that are fun for me, that are just me being an artist, creating what I want, that then would be aligned with what the market would want to buy. And that in itself is a skill set. And it's a lot of that's my psychic ability as well, my ability to read the market and understand what people want. And then to produce that. So now I have an autopilot pattern of whatever is like fun and luxurious for me to do artistically they are also money-making opportunities for me, which is just like fun. It's just fun. I hope I'm an example for creatives that just want to, sometimes we just need examples of being able to do it all and be it all. Like I paint, I've sold paintings this year. I have done some merch stuff this year. I've got my programs and coaching, and you guys see I do 1,000,001 things. It's all tied together. It's all entangled. It's all me. And the more me I bring into all of my projects, the happier I am, the more creative I am, the more energy I have to share. And then when people work with me, they're receiving many different aspects of that energy. So it's all really beautiful and really fun. All of this, I would tie together and say, be the most of yourself, be totally authentic, and find ways to blend in all aspects of yourself into what it is that you're doing. The reason why I feel like I really am a powerhouse at my work is because I don't neglect any part of myself. Like my creativity is a huge asset. Like the fact that I can pump out a sales page, a landing page that is beautiful and there's copywriting. And not everything is completely 1,000% perfect, but it's pretty damn good. If I had another week to sit on it, it would be perfect, but I don't have another week to sit on it. And or if I did, the ADHD would have me focus somewhere else anyway. So I just get it out. It's fun. It's fun to publish. I feel like where most people struggle with ideas, with their dreams, with their creativity is like, but who's gonna want it? But I have to plan, but I need all these things to get into place before I actually do it, or before I get it out, or before I hit publish. And you know what? I don't know that I believe in competition, but while you're thinking about doing it, somebody's hitting publish. Like, just do it. Enough talking about it. I don't know if you needed a motivational speech today, but this is what it's turning into, okay? That business you want to start, that thing you want to create, that album you want to shoot, you know, whatever the thing is, stop talking about it. Go do it. And then when you're done, review it and see what you want to do better. And then go do it again. And then go do it again. Oh, I remember what I was going to say now, bringing it back to YouTubers. You know what famous YouTubers say about the YouTube process? It's not about getting each video perfect. It's about shooting as many videos as you can. Because as you shoot them, you naturally perfect parts of the process that you could not really plan into place. You can't plan your way to a big YouTube channel, generally speaking. You can't plan your way to becoming a proficient, prolific artist or creative in any way. You create your way there. You develop the skills through doing, not through thinking. Through practice, okay? We're bringing this back to the music. Anyone that's a musician, like, just listening to music is not going to give you the ability to play. Like, it's helpful, okay? It's helpful to have example. It's helpful to have musical vocabulary in your mind. But if you never pick up an instrument, or you pick it up, like, once a week, like, I went to school for music. Like, we were practicing, like, 4 hours a day. Like, what do you, like, Like, you're practicing. You get better by practicing. You get better by doing the damn thing. You get better by getting up on stage. I ran a music venue in college too, and like literally, you guys, I've coached so many creatives. People would come to me and they'd be like, I'm afraid to perform on stage. Also, this whole thing was hilarious because I had huge performance anxiety and I would not perform, but I would coach everyone else. that was like funny. Don't curse me out. I was like 20, okay. But people would come to me and they'd be like, I'm nervous to get on stage. And I was like, you just need to practice. And I was like, I'll be there to guide you. I'll be your support while you're on stage, while you're uncomfortable. And I was like, and I have like 2 best friends here that would run the venue with me. And I'd be like, they're also going to support you. I'd be like, we'll bring some friends. We'll make sure that the audience is filled out, where there are really helpful, loving, supportive people that are going to cheer you on. I would like teach the audience. I'd be like, clap, like fucking be there, celebrate these people. Like, I would have the audience be emotionally supportive. I would be emotional support behind the scenes. I would pull in other people for emotional support. I would talk to these people's friends and I'd be like, hey, I need you to show up for this event because they need you there, because they're not going to continue to perfect their craft and become who they're meant to be if you don't show up for them and show them that it's okay to be on stage and it's okay to mess up and it's okay to be a work in progress. And then I created 2 to 3 events every single week to give people time to practice, to actually be on stage and be in front of live audiences. Now, I've done comedy in the past as well. It's very similar with comedy too. You need to get out into audiences. You need to be able to have live feedback on your material. You need to be able to get good at your craft, and you're not going to get good by just being at home. Like, you actually have to practice. You actually have to play. Creativity is no different. You actually have to hit publish. And you have to hit publish a lot. You know, for anyone on YouTube, like this YouTube thing, oh my gosh, if you go back onto my branding channel, which I think if you scroll back, you'll find in my feed somewhere, and go to the first video I published there, oh my God, what a nightmare it was. It was terrible. I've improved significantly. And I didn't try to improve. I just showed up and showed up and showed up and practiced speaking on camera and practiced speaking and practiced messing up in front of audiences and being okay with it. And practicing recovery when you mess up and practicing finding your train of thought when you lose it and practicing editing. I've been doing video editing since I was like 12 or 13. I haven't been editing these because it just slows my process down, but I do love video editing. There are just so many different skills that need to be practiced and stacked and published again and again and again. If you are a creative and you are looking to be well known at what you do, you have to publish as much as you possibly can and as quickly as possible. Live streaming is a fantastic way of hacking that system. That's what I got for now. Okay, I actually do need to run, but this was a fantastic little rant. I'm gonna call it a creativity rant. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for checking out my merch shelf, which I'm gonna see if I can attach on here somewhere. I have wanted a merch shelf from day 1 on YouTube, and now I'm gonna have one. It's just like, what? This is so exciting. Also, I want you to guys know I am sober AF and have been most of my life. This is just what happens when you love your life. This is like creative fulfillment. It comes off like this. And I'm so comfortable with myself that I'm comfortable sharing it and showing it. Because I love this part of myself too. And she's here. The inner child is here. She's not going anywhere and she's happy to be here. I am going to show you my pants and then I'm going to get off stream. Okay. I don't know what they say, but I do love them. Right. They've got paint strokes on them. All right, my friends. Thank you for joining me in my many attitudes of love, teaching, bliss, being myself, making cool things. I think we should all live in a world where creative expression is celebrated and where your inner child is celebrated, not demeaned and told that they're not they're not enough of an adult to show up on camera when you're an adult running your own business. I think we should be all of the parts of ourselves. I think we are multifaceted beings, and I think that truly should be celebrated in every way possible. I will design some motivational speeches around this. It is coming. For those of you that don't know, I do have that in my background as well. It's all coming together. It is all coming together. Okay, that's what I got. Thanks for joining me. I'm just gonna look through the comments real quick, and I will see you guys soon. Oh, I wish I saw that comment earlier. Would you be comfortable sharing how you removed your creative blocks? Anything that allows me to flow. Let me think about that, and I'll see if I can shoot a video on it. Because I think I could. I just need to think about that one ahead a little bit. I've got it on automatic autopilot now. But yeah, creative blocks are not a thing. They're a resistance. Have you ever read The Artist's Way? It's resistance. You just gotta get it out. or what is it? No, that was the book, I think. Anyway, maybe I'll recommend some creativity books. Okay, that's what I got. Talk to you guys soon. Okay, thanks for joining me. Bye.